Buongiorno, my name is Silvana Rigobon, and first of all, I would like to express my gratitude for your invitation to be part of this event. Thank you to the organizers and to the other speakers. Events like these are really important to share a new narrative on the topic of menopause and to normalize the conversation. Menopause is not an illness, but a healthy, sacred transition in life. So why am I here? What do I have to share? I am a cycle mentor. I hold circles, and my business is circumferences, as Emily Dickinson, the poet, wrote in a letter to her mentor. I facilitate circles to invite people, women and men, menstruators and non-menstruators, to reconnect to the wisdom of menstruality, which means transmitting a perspective, new and ancient at the same time, which restores the dignity and role of the female cycle as an individual expression of creativity, not necessarily linked only to motherhood and sexuality. Menstruality is the female initiatory path that starts with monarchy, the first period, and goes on to embrace menopause. I hold circles for men as well to extend the conversation and normalize it. The menstrual cycle is not a woman, but a human topic. It affects the totality of the population. You're either a menstruator or you were born of a menstruator. And reconnecting to the teachings of the female cycle is a way to respond and to honor the cycles of life. On a wider perspective, this reminds us of the importance of celebrating rites of passage and initiations, to welcome young girls into adulthood, to appreciate them for who they are and for what they will become, and to support adult women in the natural transition to menopause. These practices nourish a sense of belonging within the community and reaffirm our interconnectedness. The menstruality map is our inner coach, and it's a compass that guides each woman in her inner territory and reveals her path to power. This map is based on the observation of what happens in her body, heart, and mind every month in the 4 phases of the cycle, using the archetype of the 4 seasons. I call it inner permaculture. Women who reconnect to their inner coach are able to listen deeply to their own needs and to the needs of the people around them. Women are embodied leaders by nature, and are able to address the complexity of our times and able to offer alternative and transformative solutions. In this menstruality map, menopause is welcomed and respected as a spiritual practice, and it is as sacred as menstruation. It's seen as a transition that leads towards a different level of power and authority. So we can consider menopause as a gateway, and in a way, the next level from embodied leadership to embodied eldership. In menopause, you have access to even more resources to be able to embrace complexity. And the role of elders is much needed in our communities in these very challenging times. So let's take one step back. What is an elder? There is a difference between getting older and becoming an elder. Elena Clayton, a leadership expert, offers an inspired definition of elder as someone with a level of growth and service who is seen as critical to the well-being of the community. And she goes on. The concept comes from a traditional societies and indigenous peoples, and from times and places that many of us have lost connection with. Eldership is an archetype, a template for someone who is universally valued as necessary for the emotional and spiritual health of societies. So becoming an elder requires the willingness to do deep inner work. And menopause is indeed a deep inner journey with parts of us that need to die so we can be reborn anew, as in any initiation. menopause is a rite of initiation. Menopause is the time of responsibility, ability to respond, but also the time of question ability, ability to ask questions. And menopause is the time to ask yourself big questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Who do I want to be? How can I make the rest of my life really meaningful? What is my unique gift that I'm here to bring to the world? What am I pregnant with? How can I contribute? How can I be part of the solution? How can I develop my capacity to compassion and kindness? How do I want to be remembered from the generations to come? Menopause is the time when you realize that you have something unique to bring to this world. We are part of something big, and we're here with a purpose. In menopause, you become aware that you are pregnant with a gift that you have to deliver to the world. This gift can be as big as a project, as little as an idea, or quite simply, you could become pregnant with yourself, with your life purpose. In menopause, you welcome yourself home. You accept who you are beyond limitations and judgments. You create a cozy space, a safe space to be at peace with yourself. You midwife yourself. You midwife yourself. You become mother to yourself. And once you take yourself home, the world becomes your home. In this historical time, we are at a crossroad. We are transitioning from the old story to a new story. The old story is about separation. We have lost the connection to ourselves, to each other, to nature, and to the community. But the reality is that we are deeply interconnected. Reconnecting to the wisdom of the body allows us to see the new story. And in the new story, the wise elders become weavers, weaving our community stronger, weaving intergenerational ecosystems, weaving from ego to eco. The perspective of an elder is systemic. We do need embodied wise elders who have at heart the well-being of the collective and who can help us in sense-making. Wise elders who are able and willing to tend and nourish the unbroken. In these challenging times, more than ever, we need wise elders to facilitate processes of transformation, of radical acceptance, of collective grieving, and collective celebration, of course. What we need is a new generation of elders. According to Stephen Jenkinson, the founder of the Orphan Wisdom School, he has a gorgeous definition for elders: sentinel species for humanness. Let me repeat it: sentinel species for humanness. I found it gorgeous. These are the times we've been waiting for. And my wish is that conscious menopause could become one of the forms of embodied eldership that can lead us from the emerging future with wisdom, kindness, and compassion. And I would like to end with a reminder. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. The medicine wheel of the menstrual cycle is as old as humanity itself. The wheel of the wisdom of the womb is ancient. It has been there forever. It has been passed on from old generation to new generation. And at a certain point, the thread has been cut, sometimes dramatically. This wisdom has been silenced, denied, repressed, forgotten. In many countries, including Italy, my own, talking about menstruation and menopause is still a taboo. Now, this is the time to co-create a new narrative and to share it, to normalize it, to bring it to the light, to open spaces. These are the times we've been waiting for. And the good news is that we are witnessing an organic, dynamic, collective, enthusiastic, creative, inspiring, and inspired awakening in the field of menstrual awareness, including menopause. It is an ecosystem that is thriving all over the world, and I could spend hours and days mentioning best practices that are spreading all over in Europe, in North America, in South America, in Africa, in Asia, in Australia. I could name so many people that are involved in research, in education, in training, in facilitation, in personal development, in activism, in artivism. And yes, period is at work too. There are more and more inspiring projects that bring this topic in business contexts, including workshops on the wisdom of menopause. I would like to take this opportunity to celebrate facilitators, mentors, educators, academic researchers, activists, artivists from all over the world. I celebrate you and your best practices. I'm constantly inspired by you, by your creativity, your passion, your courage. And my vision is that we can strengthen the existing networks and weave together a tapestry with our metaphorical red threads, interconnections, cyclic permaculture. We are lucky to live in a time in which the menstrual cycle moves from margin to center as a subject of urgent concern and enthusiastic exploration, as Chris Bobel, the past president of the Society for Menstrual Cycle Research, writes in her introduction of the Palgrave Handbook of Critical Menstruation Studies, published last year. The book, by the way, is open access and it's available online and highly recommended. You can download it for free. I stand tall and proud as a woman to talk about the blessings of menstruality and conscious menopause because I stand on the shoulders of giants. I would like to thank the women that have inspired me, opening the path. Grazie, Alexandra Pope, Shani Wurlitzer, Sobon Fusome, Dr. Christian Northrup, and many, many others who have shared their wisdom, their vision, their passion, their stories. In particular, all the women that have been dancing with me with their red thread in the past years, in India, in Turkey, in Lithuania, in Italy, all over the world. We are sharing a vision. Together, we are bringing this vision down to earth and manifesting it. And I would like to end with the lyrics of a gorgeous song by Mamuse as a reminder. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. And what a time to be alive. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. Grazie.